Hey, and welcome to another WP Learners video. Today we are going to be looking at how I got my WordPress website down from 6 seconds in loading time to, as you can see here on my screen, 380 milliseconds, coming right up. Now there are two things that I did to drastically reduce the loading time of my website. The first thing I did is I converted every single image on my website to WebP format. Okay, so usually you will save your images as a .jpeg or a PNG file. Those are the most common ones you see around. But this new format, WebP, which is kind of developed by Google, is considered a next-gen format. And in other words, it's just a smaller file size. It reduces the file size of your images whilst retaining most of the quality. And so I converted every single image on my website to WebP format. It saved me around maybe 12 megabytes in space, which doesn't sound like a huge amount, but in loading time, that is incredible, okay? And so I'm going to jump into the back end of my website to show you how easy this was to do. And this plugin is free, so I won't be posting any affiliate links for this. I'm just helping you guys out. And so if I go to my plugins section on my back end of the website, you can see right at the bottom, I have installed a plugin called WebP Converter for Media. Now, all you need to do to install this is click on plugins, and then you are going to want to add a new plugin. Okay, and so once this page comes up, you want to search just for WebP Converter, and the right plugin should come up. There we go. It's this one on the left, okay? And so you can see on the other ones, you can see the install now. You just need to click that, and then there'll be a blue button that says activate. Once you've done that, it will show up in your settings, okay? WebP Converter. And so if we go into this section now, there's just a few basic settings that you need to kind of change to get this to work. Now, by default, the list of supported file extensions is JPEG, the two types of JPEG, and a PNG. If you've got GIFs, select that as well. But everything is selected by default. And so the plugin by default retains around 85% of the image quality. If you've got kind of photographs on your website, you may want to bump this up just a little bit. I don't, so it's okay. And I've found that I don't really lose anything noticeable to the naked eye at around 85%. And then right at the bottom, you've got this Regenerate Images tab. Okay, and this is where the magic happens. You just click this little green button, Regenerate All, and it will scroll through every single image on your website and turn it into a WebP image. And I saved, as I said, around 12 megabytes, and that is one thing that drastically reduced the load time for me. The second thing that I did to get this to work is I installed a plugin called Async. Okay, now this is a term for a programming language called JavaScript. Okay, and most of your plugins and your themes will have elements of JavaScript in them. JavaScript is just a way of making your website interactive. So all the kind of fancy animations and the Elementor page builder, which I've got installed on this website, a lot of it is built with JavaScript. Now the problem with that is that by default, which is not really a good thing, WordPress loads up JavaScript before it loads anything else on your website. It can drastically increase the amount of time that your website takes to load. And so what actually happens is that it loads all the JavaScript and then the rest of your content, and that can take a bit of time to sort out. And so for the purposes of this tutorial, I've just deactivated it so I can show you the full process of how to set this up. So you can see it here, Async JavaScript. If you search that in the plugins tab that we just went into to install the WebP plugin, you will find it. I'm going to activate this now. And what this will do is it will defer or asynchronously load the JavaScript files. Okay, so all you need to know is that it sorts out that process of when WordPress tries to load all the JavaScript first. It just fixes that issue for you. Okay, and so I've activated that now. And again, under settings, you will find it here, Async JavaScript, okay? And so if I click on that, you will go through to the settings page, okay? Now, by default, these two settings are ticked. That won't cause you any issues. You do need to be careful with these settings because sometimes it does cause conflict with your website. So if there are any problems, just deactivate this plugin and try a different one out. There are many on the plugin database. And so these are all set up. So you want to enable async JavaScript, also for the logged in users. And you want to make sure that in this section here, the method is set to async, okay? So if you set it up to async, it will then start to sort this out for you. Sometimes as well, the jQuery, which is another variation of JavaScript programming language, can be clicked on exclude. jQuery by default is quite a heavy programming language. It sometimes builds up the size of the files in the website. So you want to click on async for that as well, okay? And that is all there is to it. So if I just go down to the bottom now and click Save Settings, it will do that for me pretty quickly. And then my WordPress website, hopefully, as long as you haven't got any sort of major issues, will start to load lightning fast, guys, okay? And that is all I did. That is literally all I did. I noticed my website was loading really slow, which is really bad for Google rankings. And so I did a bit of research. I found these two plugins and it has drastically improved the load time of my website down to 380 milliseconds. And that is all there is to it, guys, okay? If you have found this video helpful, I would love it if you could support me. If you are just starting up your own website, please take a look down in the description. I have some affiliate links that help me keep this website up and running, keep my channel up and running. I use a company called SiteGround Hosting. I use the Elementor page builder and the Astra WordPress theme. So if you need any resources, consider helping me out and using my link down in the description. But I hope you guys found this helpful. And if you did, I'd love to hear how that helped you in the comments. But until next time, guys, thank you for watching this video, and I will see you very